Well, look, I think he's got a pretty big credibility crisis on his hands, because all of these problems in some ways showed up after he said something basically the exact opposite. Afghanistan withdrawal wasn't going to be messy. This wasn't going to look like Saigon. The booster shots, he came out and he essentially said 8 months and even indicated maybe we should start it as soon as 5 months. Now we're not sure if anybody under 65 is going to get a booster shot. So, he's had, and of course the border has been, whether this, we can talk about the border problems. You could say there's years in the making. But it's pretty clear we have a bigger problem now than we've had in years, and these policies have turned into becoming a magnet.
Look, I mean, this really cuts to the core of Joe Biden and the case he made to be elected in the first place. He expressed that he would be kind of the adult in the room would return, and that there'd be competence back, and that the world would embrace us. And instead, what happened here is kind of interesting. He alienated France. France was expressing that they felt stabbed in the back by the United States. And the reason for that was last week, it was announced that the UK and the United States had struck a deal to sell nuclear submarines to the Australians. This after nuclear powered submarines. This after France for years had been working on a deal with Australia to sell them lesser quality nuclear powered submarines. So Australia decides to balk on that deal and go with an arrangement with the United States and the UK. And the French, in a fury, both canceled a gala to sort of celebrate our national unity that was expected to take place, international unity that was expected to take place last week. And they recalled their own ambassador as well, a pretty big diplomatic statement from the French. Now, in addition to this, all the stuff that Chuck and Willie were pointing out, there's just scandal after scandal really on the plate of the Biden administration right now. And that includes the Friday announcement that drone strike killed 10 innocent people, civilians, in Afghanistan. That was the September 29th strike designed to stop another attack on our troops. It didn't do that. It just killed a U.S. aid worker and at least 7 children. This after you had Mark Milley come out and promise that we had great intel, that we knew it was an ISIS guy, that we've been tracking him, that this was as rigorous as any other drone strike we've ever taken, which of course makes me nervous. I'm like, wait a second, really? It was that rigorous? It turns out either all of our other drone strikes had no rigor or this one was just a lie. And then of course you got the border crisis, which is blossoming even further than it has all year. You got the announcement from the FDA this past week saying, no, we're not going to give boosters for now to the population overall, despite the fact that Biden made a promise to that effect, that would be occurring beginning this week. So look, Joe Biden's got a lot to answer for right now as he is juggling chainsaws and losing limbs, I would say.